Hey guys, welcome back to this old Philco restoration project. When we left off, I got the set basically working. I then decided to proceed with finishing off some cosmetic issues and replacing the last two electrolytics. So cosmetic issues, I removed the top of this transformer housing, soaked it in Evapo-Rust, sprayed it with clean metal primer, and then some high performance semi-gloss black enamel paint, reattached it. The high voltage box, similar deal, Evapo-Rust soak, and here's the clean metal primer. I'm not using rusty metal primer because I removed all the rust with the Evapo-Rust, so I'm using clean metal primer, and then this will also get the black enamel paint, and then it will get reinstalled, cleaned off. Basically all the spots of corrosion on top. It looks very mottled now, but that's the way it goes. Somebody asked me if I will paint it. Nah. That's way above and beyond what is necessary, because as some of you point out to me all the time, nobody's ever going to see it, so why bother? But what I do is put on some Shield T9, which is a wax type product that it's a corrosion inhibitor. It will soak in to the pits where the corrosion had been and form a barrier to oxygen. I also cleaned up that really rusted area where the AC interlock goes as best I could in there. I did use rusty metal primer, which for whatever reason it's the same color as rust. So the rust was basically all removed, and then I brushed on some rusty metal primer, which I believe has fish oil in it, which helps to seal in any existing corrosion and prevent further corrosion from coming back. When that is dry, I think I'll just dab on some silvery grayish paint or something so it doesn't look quite so jarring. Caps. The last two caps are twist locks. I clipped off the lugs, I snapped off the twist locks and removed them, drilled some holes, and installed the adapter caps. I'm getting ready to wire in the caps for those. It just seemed the most expedient way to do it, rather than try to relocate the caps or put terminal strips in. Especially here, it's really tight with all these tubes in this area, and it's right by some IF transformers and the high voltage stuff. There's really no good place underneath, so that's what I did. And now for the cabinet. A little more work going on the cabinet with my trusty supervisor Shadow taking a nap in the background. I got most of the separation taken care of on the bottom and on the bottom on both sides, but there's a little bit up here in the top. So somebody had asked how much I dilute the glue. So here's what I do. I pry apart where the veneer or plywood layers are separated with a putty knife or razor blade, and squirt in as much straight glue as I can. I then take a fan brush, get a little bit of water on it, and work that in. And then maybe go back to the blade and kind of or separate and move it back and forth a little bit to try to get it to draw in the glue as much as possible. And then I clamp the snot out of it as best I can. So here there's corner blocks. I really want to clamp that up, so for that I'm going to get a long pipe clamp and have to clamp all the way from this side to this side. And this side has exactly the same problem, where this top corner is separating, so that'll get the same treatment. And I think that's the last of the veneer separation issues. Alright, I think I've done about as much work as I can do. I replaced all the paper caps, all the electrolytics, spot checked, I think all the resistors. Very few were out of spec enough that I felt they needed to be replaced. So here we're at. Still have to deal with the bad power switch, but let's take a look topside for a moment, see what else has been going on. Transformer top has been repainted. High voltage box cover has been repainted inside and out. Removed basically all the corrosion from the chassis, coated it with some T9 corrosion inhibitor. You can see all the adapter caps. So I did end up drilling a couple holes for the twist locks, one here and one there. All tubes have been checked. So, about the only thing left to do, aside from install full-size CRT and put this thing through its paces, is deal with that. So this is where the old AC interlock, it looked like it got up in smoke, and it was really corroded all in here. So this got an evapor-rust bath. You can see the pitting there, I think, if I got the light right. And then I got repainted. But the main chassis, of course, I couldn't dunk that in evapor-rust very easily, so I used naval jelly on it, and then I put on some rusty metal primer. So that's what this color is. It's not rust. This is a rust-inhibiting primer. Now I'm going to just brush on a little bit of this aluminum, Rust-Oleum, or rust-inhibiting type paint. It won't be an exact match for this, but it's pretty close. And then I will screw on the replacement AC interlock, and that should take care of that. Now, the Early Television Museum annual convention is in about 5 weeks. And I've been in touch with one or two guys who have 12 LP4s, or potentially do. And even if they didn't, there's a very good chance I could pick one up there. So, I think I will get out the little 5-incher again, and we'll test that again, but I don't think I'll bother with a full-size test until I come back from the convention. Meaning after this video installment is going to go on the back burner, and I'm going to switch over to some other projects until I come back from the convention. I didn't bother to deal with the focus coil, so it's going to be a little blurry. We'll just have to deal with that. Clean the volume control. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, it's a little hard to judge how well it's working because it's so blurry, and it's blurry because of that electromagnetic focus coil on the neck. Something I've wondered about for a while now, which is, what did they do back when servicemen were using these, and they were selling these and promoting these as a great tool for the workbench, knowing that every set back then used around CRT had a big old electromagnet around the neck that is going to make, actually in this case it's just blurry off, and the magnetic field shoves the image off to the side, so at least we don't have that to contend with. Alright, so the signal source I have now is going through my VG91, which is why I have no sound. I'll explain why in a moment. But if I go to one of these test patterns, we should have sound here. There it is. A little weak. Not too bad. Obviously, you have a buzz too. So, VG91, which is my go-to pattern generator these days and has been for the past few years. It's great. It has a lot of great modes, one of which is external modulation. There's a BNC jack on the back of this, which I have going to my over-the-air converter box. So it's mirroring what I have on my little bench TV here. The problem is it's only video modulation. There is no provision for external sound, so we can't hear sound. But it is nice to see live video. If I want to hear proper video and sound, I need to rig up a different signal source. So I'm going to take a spare converter box and plug it right into the TV through this ballon. So this is the thing that's causing the picture to be blurry. And in the past, somebody has cut it. Now, it needs to be there because it's part of the power supply, so you can't remove it entirely. What I've done in the past sometimes is taking the nuts off. Maybe I'll try doing that. And leaving it connected, but putting it off to the side, like maybe rested on top of this. And there should be, I hate to loosen up all this stuff, unmount it, but yeah, I'll give it a try. Yeah, I'd say that's working a whole lot better. Sound too. So what did I do? I unmounted the focus coil. Here are some of the test patterns. Really nice. A little bit of work to do in vertical linearity. Obviously the image is upside down, but when we get the CRT mounted properly, we'll take care of that. A little bit of noise in there too, but considering how I have things rigged up, I'm not too concerned about that right now. What a difference. So what did I do? Well, I got that focus coil unmounted. Took a little bit of work. I'm glad I did though, because look how corroded that is. So I'm going to disconnect the wires and try to give this a soak in some evapo-rust. Seems to be in two pieces, and maybe I can take the screws out and just take this part out because the rest of it's fine. I don't want to submerge the coil if I don't have to. It kind of looks like if I take out these screws, it can be separated from the rest. So, yeah. How about that? So, other than derustifying that, I think we're good. Looks like we are in luck. So take 4 screws off and it comes apart. So, into the evapor-rust this goes, and I'll pick up on this project in a few weeks when I secure a full-size 12-inch picture tube. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to working on the GE locomotive set. Thanks for watching.